Hey and welcome again. Today, we'll tell you a story about two friends who were enjoying their hobby of kayaking. They were just off the coast of Gran Canaria, Spain, when they saw something coming toward them. If you're new to this channel, subscribe to this channel and check the playlist to watch more real stories. It didn't look like any sea creature, that's for sure. But when they noticed what was on its back and the mass trailing behind it, they knew they needed to help. Divers and snorkelers have long been known to experience the beauty of the coral reefs and their inhabitants. The idyllic coast off Gran Canaria is home to a vast array of marine life. The reef's ecosystem hangs in a delicate balance, with each member of the food chain playing their part. But when the balance is disrupted, there can be devastating consequences. If you want to learn about this fragile and magnificent ecosystem, in that case, it's recommended to see it on your own while going on trips in snorkeling or kayaking. Scuba diving is also extraordinary and something you will never forget for the rest of your life. This particular kayaker had a one-of-a-kind moment when he spotted something strange in the water during his trip. Nothing quite beats this kayaker story that went viral worldwide. Two kayakers were having a great time while on their trip when they spotted something swimming towards them. The closer the object drew to the kayaks, the more confused the couple became. It had a strange color to be a dolphin, and the shape was also odd. But then, the kayakers finally realized that something was wrong. They were very familiar with the marine life in the area since they tried to get out in the water as often as possible. Still, this animal matched none of their descriptions. Coming closer until only a few feet off, the animal was almost visible above the turquoise water. It appeared to be reddish-brown in color. It crossed their minds that they may have discovered a new animal. The animal bobbed closer, and this strange movement alerted them to something wrong. It wasn't swimming as a fish or dolphin would, but it wasn't moving like a jellyfish. Everything was altogether wrong. It floated along with the tide, but at the same time, it didn't seem to want to. In fact, the creature, whatever it was, seemed to be struggling. Then they spotted a large mass floating behind it, sparkling in the sunny waters. The bundle that was the unknown creature was taking so long to make its way to the men, that they paddled a few strokes closer to get a better look. What they realized would jolt them into immediate action as they realized just what they were seeing. The animal was completely obscured by the floating transparent mass. They needed to act quickly. It was a race against time, in a now life or death situation. It was evident that whatever was beneath the translucent tangled mess needed help now. Human help. Maybe that was why it was struggling so hard against the current, to make its way to every sea creature's mortal enemy. The men realized that the trailing substance behind it was something they knew to be extremely dangerous, and it wasn't at all part of the creature. They knew they had to intervene. One of the ocean's most graceful animals had been reduced to a bobbing, drowning, and extremely desperate creature. It approached the kayaker by choice, something which is unheard of for any wild animal. This could have dire consequences for any other creature, but luckily, these men loved nature and all its living beings. Its life would be determined by the only choice it had left. Fighting against the unforgiving ocean and everything that the sea has thrown its way, the creature gave up its fight, unable to fight any longer. In a last-ditch attempt to help, one of the men leapt out of the kayak and swam the short distance to the mysterious mass. This had now become a rescue mission, and it wasn't without danger. The man, after all, still didn't know exactly what he was trying to save. He wrapped his hands around the creature's smooth back and began to pull. It was bigger than he had thought, and the portion that was not part of the living being pulled heavily in resistance. He treaded water furiously, just as the creature had been doing for no one knows how long. But he was determined to pull the creature back to the kayak. He knew full well that his furious splashing was drawing attention. Who knew what other dangerous animals may be lurking nearby, ready to take a bite? The other kayaker had gotten into a position where he could scoop the creature out of the water. He was hopeful that he wouldn't get bitten whilst trying to help. they finally had a chance to look at what the mysterious animal was. When he realized what he was holding, his heart went to the poor creature struggling for so long. This is definitely a moment he'll tell his grandkids as a bedtime story. Nearly losing his grip on the slippery creature, he immediately saw the problem. It was heavy but very hard and smooth. As soon as he had a firm grip, he hoisted the animal into the boat, and it stopped wriggling. They both knew exactly what it was now. Hidden in a disguise of plastic bags, shredded, tangled and wrapped around it, but it was undeniable. The exhausted mysterious animal was a rather tired sea turtle. There was still a huge problem looming. You see, the kayaker had to struggle for a while because his rescue mission was far from being over. After thinking about how to disentangle, the rescuer did something unexpected. Somehow the turtle knew it needed help, that no one else could give it, and that it had come to the right place. The only people that could save it now from a watery grave, the men got to work, while the turtle lay still. There are many dangers in the sea, but sea turtles have very few natural predators once they have reached a decent size. It's mostly only sharks and killer whales that can take on the hard shell of a sea turtle. Still, one predator has started preying on these graceful and endangered creatures. The turtle had the misfortune of swimming through a net of plastic. That was the strange mass trailing behind it and hindering it. The mass of plastic weighed it down and entangled its head and legs. It made swimming nearly impossible and forced the turtle to come to one of the greatest enemies of all, people. One kayaker pulled out a knife he luckily had on him, and began untangling the plastic around the animal. Only a few single strands had tethered around its neck and under its arms. But from those few pieces, hung huge heavy clumps trailing meters behind the animal. Freeing the turtle didn't take long, and the unnamed man smiled while he helped. After inspecting the turtle a few times and turning it this way, he was satisfied that he had gotten every last scrap and nothing was embedded in any skin folds. The kayaker gave the cooperative turtle a kiss on the head before lowering it back into the ocean. News of the rescue made its rounds on the internet, and many users expressed and shared gratitude and praise. Sea turtles are becoming increasingly at risk of endangerment. They are less frequently seen in their natural habitat due to pollution. Plastic bags and waste items are often mistaken by the age-old ocean inhabitants, jellyfish, their staple food. So, if you would untangle a turtle in the ocean, then let's stop putting plastic there too. Reduce, reuse, recycle. If you liked today's video, please hit the like button and share this story with others. Also, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so that you'll be notified when the next story goes live. See you again.